I'm going to give us a tiny little bit of background about things that are equally spaced apart in 2-point perspective. So I'll make a vanishing point real quick, 2 vanishing points on a horizon line. So let's say I'm making a sidewalk going a single direction, maybe that way, like that. If I want to make cracks in this sidewalk, they will use the opposite vanishing point. Like this. Here's a crack. And then here's another crack, but both are coming from this vanishing point over here on the left. Now, to really illustrate this, you could think of it also as intersecting sidewalks. Intersecting sidewalks might look like that. I'm just extending these lines off the paper a bit. Okay, so you can think of it as intersecting sidewalks, or you can just make this initial square by using the opposite vanishing point. Now, going back to the skill set we learned a few days ago, if I find the exact middle of this line, and an easy way to do that, again, is take your initial square and make a corner-to-corner X. This center of this square is now the middle of the sidewalk, and I can make a light guideline to the vanishing point. That helps me out. So now if I take this corner and aim it through the middle of this line, I'll illustrate that with a dotted line. That look, where it hits here, I'll pivot that from the other vanishing point and make that line. And I can repeat that. This corner through the middle of that line. I'm only making a dotted line to illustrate this. You don't always have to make a dotted line. Where it hits here, I'm not just going to make a random line. That comes from the other vanishing point. And I can just keep doing that system as much as I want to make a 2-point perspective sidewalk. Or maybe, again, this is not a sidewalk. Maybe these are parking spaces and we happen to be 100 feet off the ground looking down on them. This could be any number of things, but when you make things equally spaced apart in 2-point perspective, that's how it works. Furthermore, though, what if I wanted it to be a grid? This whole thing, all these lines could be going to the vanishing point. See that? Now what if I took this corner and aimed it through this one, and it gives me an intersection point here and here. I can take this spot, aim it over there, start building the grid from that direction. So can you guys see the grid starting to happen? And I can take any of these squares, go corner to corner, and give myself more and more intersection points, aim them to the opposite vanishing point, and I can build this out. I could hop over here, do the same thing, this corner through this corner, gets me here, 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 and here. And then these intersection points come from that vanishing point. So if you want to make any sense of a grid in 2-point perspective, this is how you can do it. It starts by intersecting 2 paths to make that first square, and then that square then tells you, helps you figure out where to put everything else, and you can start building this out.